Well, no changes with this girl yet. She still looks like she's ready to pop any day, but I've never seen her, you know, act like she's getting close or hold her tail or anything like that. So we just keep on waiting. It's supposed to be hot today. They're calling for a high of 104 degrees. And up till now, we've only really seen like mid to low 90s. So it's going to be quite a temperature swing. And my problem this morning is that where the cows are grazing, they have great feed down there, but the one thing they don't have is shade. There's no trees, there's no structures, there's nothing. And I just really don't want to make them stand out there in the sun when it's so hot. So the challenge today is getting everybody set up with shade so that this afternoon, when we do reach those high temperatures, everybody's got a place that they can go to kind of get out of it. And the only way that I can think to do that is to give the cows access here to the big corral. They can get under the barn, or they can get under the 2 shade trees over there. That should provide enough for everybody. And I'll have to keep the bulls in the little corral, all the while keeping everybody separated. And I think therein lies the challenge. You see, the little corral here is not very strong. It's made out of these flimsy farm store panels. And I'm a little bit worried that if I try to lock the bulls in here, that, you know, they can just push through these panels if they decide to. What will make it even more enticing for them to do that is if the cows are right on the other side of the panel. So my idea, and I'm hoping that this works, is to put a hot wire up in the middle of this little pasture so that the cows can still walk from gate to gate, but they can't ever get close to this little corral and sort of taunt the bulls. So we'll start with that and we'll see how far we get. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. So you see how they're crowding that gate. They're not doing that because they're hungry and they want me to feed them. They're doing that because they know that gate leads to shade and they're getting hot already. It's only, I think it's only 10 in the morning. I got the wire up. It looks like it should hold the cows a good 60 feet from the little corral where the bulls are right now. I'm hoping that's gonna be all right. I mean, let's say worst case scenario, the bulls break through the little corral where they are now, then they would still have to work up the courage to get through the hot wire. I'm not saying that they wouldn't do it or couldn't do it. They absolutely can. But they are trained to hot wire, so it would make them think twice. And you know, I'll be around today, so if something happens, hopefully I'll be here to catch it. Worst case scenario, the bulls do get in with the cows and possibly breed one, but we're almost into June, which is when I used to turn them out anyway, so that wouldn't be the absolute end of the world, but it is earlier than I want to try to breed them this year. So now it's just a matter of opening the gates and putting the energizer on the wire. And if you've been wondering this whole time, well, what's going to become of the cow number 14 and then the heifer that I've got locked up here in the corral for observation? Well, unfortunately, I am going to just have to put them back in with the cows. I don't have another place where I can put them, unless I'm willing to make them stand out in the sun all day, which I am not willing to do. So we're just going to put them back together. I mean, here's the reality. I'm not on 10,000 acres here. I can still watch them. It's just a little bit more work for me. I can still go gather them up. It's just a little bit more work to do it. But like you saw in the last video, we walked number 14 up here in a matter of probably 5 minutes. So it's not a huge deal, but you know, that's what it is. Well, we were going to start opening gates and get everybody moving. But like you saw in the beginning of the video, I thought today would be a good day to clean out the bull's water trough, and little boy is deciding to help. So I guess I need to finish this first before he wrecks my water tank. Are you helping? Well, there's a few inches of water in it now. Hopefully it's heavy enough where they won't mess with it, but you know how bulls are. Stay here. Oh yeah. I'm using my Gallagher S40 on this line. It's one of my smaller energizers, but this is a perfect application for it. It's short and there's no weeds touching it, and at 8 kilovolts or 8,000 volts, that ought to make them jump. Yeah. Well, this will be the hardest part for the bulls to bear right now. They're just watching all those cows walk in front of them. I think once they get up in the corral, the bulls won't be as bothered by it, but you know, right now it's just kind of rubbing it in their face. You guys are late. That's little number 12 there, actually participating in a pasture move. I'd say that's big progress. Well, so far so good. Between the barn and the trees, there's enough shade for everybody to get under it if they choose to, and I'm thinking this afternoon, that's the choice that everybody's gonna make. So now that I got the cows taken care of, I need to find a cool spot for me to work for the rest of the day. So I've chosen to make the air-conditioned cab my office this afternoon. I've got it top the grass down here in the back pasture. There's a lot of seed heads out here with some good growth coming up underneath. So the idea is we're going to remove the seed heads and hopefully encourage that undergrowth. We'll jump ahead a few hours. We're at the hottest part of the day right now. It only got up to 100, not 104 like they were saying. So still hot, but you know, not as hot. And ironically, this is the time of day that the cows decided would be good to come out and graze. As you can see, I did not get the entire pasture mowed, which I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen anyway. But I got as much done as I could in the amount of time that I had. And, you know, that's something. I would estimate that I only got about 5 or 6 acres done today. And it's kind of frustrating because I could cover a lot more acres per hour in that tractor, but with this pasture, like I'm sure is the same with every pasture, your speed is limited by how rough it is, not by how tall it is. In other words, I'm going as fast as I can bear bouncing around out here, and you know, that's just what it ends up being. And although I didn't get as many acres as I would have liked to get done today, I am really happy with the result. And remember, the goal here is to just top the grass. And when I say that, I mean, we're just cutting like the top half or so off while trying to leave between 6 and 10 inches still on the ground. The point of this is to knock out the tall weeds that are basically done for the year anyway, and the cattle have voiced their opinion and told me that they're not going to eat them, and open it up so the desirable species can start taking off. And the other benefit to getting rid of this tall stuff is that when the cattle have their heads down grazing, they're not going to be getting these seed heads in their eyes, which can lead to eye problems, which most likely would be pink eye. And as the flies continue to ramp up, that's going to become more of a concern. Pink eye needs two things to happen in order for it to happen. That is, first we need an abrasion on the eye that would be caused potentially by tall grass or seed heads, and then we need a fly to jump from cow to cow and spread it. So if we can knock out one or even both sides of that equation, we'll be doing ourselves a big favor in the long run. Comment that I often see when I top pastures is, oh, you're just wasting a lot of good feed out there. They should be eating that. And my answer to that is always, you know, when you mow the grass, it doesn't disappear. It's still here, and they will eat a lot of this stuff that's chopped off. And basically by the time they get back out here, it'll essentially be like a bunch of hays laying on the ground for them. And before we go, a look at 2403. She's just standing down here in the ditch. Nothing new really to report. I have noticed that she holds her tail off to the side quite often, which is usually, I feel like, a sign of what they do when they're in heat. But as you can see, no other cow is following her. I mean, we got steers out here. They would be interested if she was in heat, and they're not. So I don't really know what's going on, but we're just gonna keep watching her, wait and see. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.